transformation. We're doing a deep dive into the surprising power of vocational education.
And we're using a really powerful feature to do it, a story from Fiji about the Montfort Boys Town 2025 graduation.
Yeah, the piece is titled The Metamorphosis, which is just the perfect frame for this. It gives us a crystal clear look at where the real economic demand is today.
So our mission is to take excerpts from this feature and really synthesize why this kind of training is being called, and this is a quote from a government minister, the direct, reliable pathway to secure employment.
It's a total reevaluation of what prestige means in the job market, isn't it?
It really is. So let's get specific. This deep dive is centered on 47 trainees.
47 graduates, yeah. And they achieved FNU Trade Certificate Class 3 and Level 3 qualifications. And for you listening, it's important to understand these are not just, entry-level pieces of paper.
No, not at all.
A Class 3 or Level 3 cert means you are job ready. Day one. You're competent enough to work independently in your field. So their success, it's a small model, but it reflects these huge global economic forces at play.
Okay, so we're talking about a group of highly skilled young men ready to enter the workforce. Let's break that down. What were these 47 focused on, and why are those specific trades being called so critical?
Well, the focus areas are really telling. They point directly to a country's foundational needs. Infrastructure, industry. If you look at the numbers, you see a major commitment to those core skills.
Okay.
So you have 14 graduates in building, then 7 in cabinet making, and 8 in motor vehicle mechanics.
And the biggest group?
The largest cohort, 18 of them, specialized in fitting and machining.
Fitting and machining. That taking the lead, that's a key detail, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's not simple work. It's complex, high-precision stuff. It's the literal foundation of modern industry, manufacturing, heavy maintenance.
Exactly. And the source material doesn't leave this up to interpretation. It explicitly labels these 4 fields as critical to Fiji's rapidly growing labor market.
So this isn't just general education. This is targeted training.
It's designed specifically to supply the hands and the minds needed to keep construction going, to keep infrastructure from falling apart, and to let industrial capacity grow. It's meeting an immediate strategic national need.
Which brings us to the bigger picture, the macroeconomic context. This is where a local story from Fiji really becomes part of a global conversation that we're seeing everywhere.
It is. Pressure is immense.
And the Minister for Employment, a man named Agni Deo Singh, he didn't shy away from naming the root cause of all this urgency. What's driving this intense need?
He pointed to something he called an ongoing skills shortage. And importantly, he framed it not as just, a normal market cycle.
Right. Not just the usual ups and downs.
No. This is a structural crisis, and the cause is the post-COVID migration boom. Fiji's most experienced, most skilled workers, your best builders, your best mechanics and machinists, they've been leaving.
Heading where?
Primarily to Australia and New Zealand for higher wages and, frankly, better opportunities.
So Fiji is facing a massive skills drain, a brain drain, but for hands-on skills. And these vocational centers like Montfort, they're not just filling gaps anymore.
No.
They're essentially acting as emergency training centers to keep the country's own infrastructure stable.
It creates an incredible sense of urgency. And that skills drain, it forces a really challenging conversation about what we value in education.
How so?
The minister's message to parents was, let's say, forceful. He wasn't just suggesting vocational school as an option. He was urging them to reject what he saw as an outdated belief that a university degree is the only path worth taking.
He's directly challenging that traditional perception, that hierarchy of education. He drew a core comparison that I think should make everyone, you listening included, just stop and reconsider what we value.
And what was that comparison?
He laid out this crucial contrast. On one hand, you have a situation where many academic graduates are actually struggling to find work. They're unemployed.
We see that everywhere.
But on the other hand, skilled tradespeople, like these 47 graduates, are in immediate demand. Not just in Fiji, but internationally too. It completely flips the script on what economic prestige means in 2025.
That is the ultimate aha moment, isn't it? For years, we tell young people that the pinnacle of achievement is that academic degree.
Right.
Only to find that in the real economy today, the ability to do something, to execute a critical skill, to build, to fix, to machine something with precision, that's the fastest and most reliable ticket to economic security.
It's just pure supply and demand, the value shifting from general knowledge to specific utility-driven competence. If a country's labor market is screaming for competent builders, A newly certified Class 3 builder is just exponentially more valuable than a general studies graduate.
It doesn't matter where they ranked in class. That immediate utility translates directly into a good wage and job security.
So the technical certificate itself holds immense power in this market. But the minister also suggested it's not just about the technical skill that makes these Montfort graduates stand out.
No, there's a reputation they carry with employers that goes beyond just the certificate.
And what is that?
That's where the focus shifts from the curriculum to character. The minister specifically praised these graduates, noting that employers aren't just getting skills, they're getting dedication and soft skills.
That's fascinating. We talk about soft skills a lot, but in a field like machining, dedication isn't just a buzzword.
Not at all.
It translates into precision, into reliability. It means staying on the job until it's done right, not just done. So what's the institutional philosophy that drives that?
You can trace it right back to the mission laid out by the school director and principal, a man named Brother Shaji Paul. He makes it clear that Montfort is not just a trade school.
What is it then?
The goal is holistic. It's about shaping, and I quote, confident, capable, and service-driven young men. The vocational training is the tool, the mechanism, to achieve a much larger social goal.
And what does that social goal look like in practice? What's the outcome?
It's about employability, yes, but it's deeper. It's about improving their ability to provide for themselves, certainly, but also for their families and their communities.
So the value goes beyond an individual's salary.
Exactly. It positions the graduate as a pillar of community stability. I mean, when you're trained in a trade that your community desperately needs, you are inherently serving that community.
And it's important to mention the tradition behind the institution, right? This isn't a new idea for them.
Not at all. The school has a long-standing tradition of providing this kind of education without regard to race or religion. It's an inclusive model that sees acquiring a real skill as the great equalizer.
Which brings us to the real heart of this story. The symbolic theme of the graduation ceremony itself, the metamorphosis of a butterfly. This is where the individual struggle of learning connects to that larger economic triumph.
It's such a beautiful and really resonant analogy. The students were presented as caterpillars going into a chrysalis, a hidden phase of struggle.
It's a hidden phase. I like that.
It's so important because it validates the sheer difficulty of learning a trade. You know, you can't just memorize building codes. You have to be there physically for long hours, learning what precision feels like in your hands.
That resonates so deeply for any craft, really. You can't cheat physics. You can't cheat the muscle memory required for something like fitting and machining. It validates the exhaustion of the process.
Precisely. And the source material, it acknowledges that reality head on. It's that they face challenges, long nights, and moments of doubt.
Of course, those moments where you wonder if all the effort is even worth it.
Yes, but the message is that those very moments were the catalyst. That's where the transformation happens.
And the message they gave the graduating class really captures that. It's, I think, a universal takeaway for anyone facing a tough learning curve.
The message was incredibly clear and potent. It was. Growth often looks like struggle, but struggle is the making of wings.
Struggle is the making of wings. Wow. It reframes the whole idea of difficulty. It's not a roadblock.
It's a prerequisite for capability. It's the whole point.
So the moment those students get their certificates, it's not just a diploma. It signifies the end of the chrysalis and the beginning of their professional flight.
And that internal personal transformation translates immediately into economic agency. That's the key metric of success here. They've moved from being dependent on a system to becoming drivers of the economy.
They're what the source called poised to become job providers rather than job seekers.
That shift from seeking value to creating value is the ultimate outcome of this vocational model. It's economic empowerment through skilled, dedicated effort.
We should also quickly acknowledge the individuals who really stood out. The ceremony made a point to recognize excellence.
Absolutely. The top academic honor, the Dux Award, was presented to Joseva Lakaidruda Matasaukaikaba.
And for leadership and character,
the Best All-Round Student Award went to Melibon Silatoga.
And I appreciate that it wasn't just about the top two. They also gave awards for things like the most improved trainees.
Yes, and top achievers in each specific trade building, mechanics, and so on. It's a celebration of specialized utility, not just general academic achievement.
And as they step out, ready for that job market, they got one last piece of advice.
A final, powerful reminder about what comes next.
Right.
They were told that the future isn't something you just passively enter. It's something you have to actively create.
One choice, one project, one skillful effort at a time. It's a mandate for agency.
Yeah.
So, if we pull back from this one powerful story in Fiji and we try to generalize its lessons, what are the big takeaways for you about the value of vocational education right now?
I think the dual lesson is inescapable. First, on a purely economic level, this kind of training is the immediate surgical solution to critical labor shortages. It delivers exactly the skills the economy is desperate for, and it does it quickly and effectively.
So, it's a practical solution to a practical problem.
Yes. But second, and maybe more importantly, the Montfort model shows that this education delivers a profound personal transformation. It produces these dedicated, service-driven people who aren't just competent workers. They're creators of stability for their families and their communities.
It fundamentally changes the relationship between the worker and the market.
It really does.
And that realization is so critical. For you listening, we focus so much on the abstract world of, say, data science or AI, but the persistent nagging demand for material creation, for building things, maintaining machines, constructing homes, it remains enormous and critically undersupplied.
And that's the opportunity.
It is. Economic security might not be waiting for you down that saturated, hyper-competitive academic path. It might be found in the skilled trades that desperately need the next generation of capable, dedicated creators. It's about finding the path that turns your struggle into immediate, high-value wings.
The ability to endure that chrysalis phase, to come out the other side and apply a specialized skill, that is maybe the greatest currency in the modern labor market.
The flight of the class of 2025 has begun, and Fiji awaits the wings they will unfold.